Still got your pearls hanging by my bedside. Still got your lips on paper in a trash now. I never knew love could be so sweet. I never knew it would sting. I never knew love like this would leave me in pieces. Oh, Emily, when did you fall right out of love? Oh, Emily, when did the magic stop for us? Oh, but Emily, you are the part of me I feel. It will kill me when you leave and close my door. Oh, Emily. I can't believe it's already over. Too late to talk and fix whatever's broken. I always thought love like ours would last. I never knew love could pass. Tomorrow comes and you are not around. Feels uneasy. Oh, Emily, when did you fall right out of love? Oh, Emily, when did the magic stop for us? Oh, but Emily, you are the part of me I feel. It will kill me when you leave and close my door. Who said it'd be easy to be in love? Who said that the sun would always shine? I'm not sure you realize what you are giving up. When did you fall right out of love? Oh, Emily, when did the
Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Happy 2024. How are we in 2024? That's not possible. Pinch me. I don't believe it. I know. I miss all your beautiful faces. It's so fun to see the comments rolling in. Hello, hello, hello. Lily, I got your water bottle. I'm back. I'm back in the zone. I don't know if you heard, but I broke my water bottle and Lily very kindly got me a new one. So I'm so happy to have my water back. I love the song too. We got to find out from the tech guy who it is. And I was just thinking, I should have had that as my theme song when I was writing Lost Coast Literary because it's Emily. Tech guy, are you coming on? Or are you still teching? Oh,
I'm I'm just so excited. We're live on not one, not two, but three channels right now. It's
you did not. It
absolutely
really
incredible.
happened.
It worked. It
Hi,
really worked.
Instagram.
I got like oh, there we go. There you are on Instagram. I mean, wow, 2024 done. I'm just it's time to
2024,
leave.
Mike,
I'm just
you're
yeah.
out. There's nothing
That's
else to do.
that's it. I'm not doing anything else because it worked once, so that's good enough.
Joseph says no Stanley Cup. I know. Have you seen? I feel like somebody needs to put that into a mystery because man, people are murdering over those things. No. Okay. Hi, Kat. Hi, Michelle. Suyin. Everybody. Amy. Hello. You see me on Instagram. Let's go. It's the
Hey,
trifecta.
cool. Yeah. The obvious problem is that on Facebook and YouTube everything is widescreen, and on Instagram it's vertical. So we got to work that out. But yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. Do you know off the cuff the title of that song or the band? I know.
Yeah, it's
You're in the hot seat. You already got 3 live streams going, and now we need music on top of it.
I'm trying. Let me. It's Emily by Mondays.
By Mondays. Okay.
Mondays. Yeah.
Emily by Mondays. Okay.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
I had to come over to YouTube. Sherry says you couldn't hear anything on Facebook. Huh. Okay. I think he just popped off because I bet he's trying to figure that out. We jinxed it. We had
No.
a good run. Oh, okay.
No,
He
no,
popped
no,
away.
no.
No.
Yeah. Like, there are a bunch of people on Facebook that are hearing the sound.
Okay,
Yeah.
Hi, Laura. You figured out how to
Lenny
turn-
said,
Yes,
yeah.
no trouble here. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just glitchy on yours,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Okay.
But come over somewhere else. Diane says her Facebook is fine. Oh, I know. I spoke too soon. I shouldn't have even.
Yeah, don't jinx it. It's working
I know,
right now.
sorry. Okay, so it's a new year. It's a new year of reading. I want to hear how everyone's winter holiday break went. We did a trip to the Grand Canyon. I don't know if you saw my pictures, but we've never been before, and it was stunning and magical in the most amazing way. I got to pop into Poison Pen bookstore while I was in Arizona, and we did a whole Cars-themed road trip for Sky Guy. Did anyone love Cars? Am I dating myself here? The movie? It's so sweet. Lightning McQueen, come on. So we took this whole road trip and did that. And then afterwards, it was just like a lot of hanging out and making some delicious food. It's been kind of rainy and stormy here in California, and all of our neighbors are freaking out, and I'm loving it. I'm like, yes, bring on my Pacific Northwest weather. Hi, Courtney. So glad to see you. How is everybody else? Oh, it does sound like Maroon 5. I could see that, but Mondays, the tech guy says Mondays. Lisa, your youngest came home for 3 weeks from college. You were so excited to see her. And then was it brutal when you had to send her back, or was it okay? I know it's always like we just get back in our rhythm, and then you're like, oh no, you're here. I want to kiss your beautiful face. Go home. Carrie, your trip was canceled, but you took 13 days off of work and had a good time doing a staycation. Sometimes that's the best. I read so much over the month of December and January. I just devoured everything. I was in such a good zone of, I feel like everything that I read hit, which is so great. You just played McQueen and Bumblebee, the Transformer with the boys. Oh, Courtney, that makes me so happy. I cannot even begin to tell you how many hours we all spent playing Cars, crashing Lightning McQueen. In fact, we were just talking about this. There was Damaged the King. And at one point, Sky Guy wanted it to be damaged, his little King car. And so he took a hammer and pounded it outside for hours and made it look like it had been in a crash. And then 3 weeks later or something, of course, they came out with the toy of Damage the King. It was a problem. You have a Cars Christmas stocking. I love that. It was such a fun trip, Laura. It was so great. Joseph, you got 6 feet of snow. Is that feet or snow? I can't see. I don't have my reading glasses on. Anyway, 6 of whatever snow. Valerie, you had cold like most everywhere else, but no snow in Ohio. Now it's all rain. I know. It's supposed to be 70 here this weekend. Like we're going from this whole shift. It's amazing.
That's inches of snow.
Inches. Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell without I have my reading glasses somewhere, but I don't know where. The comments are smaller on this side. That's all I'm saying. Sue, you did a 4-state Zoom with your siblings on Christmas night. Oh, that's a sweet tradition. That's the beautiful thing about tech, that you can do that now. I love that. Michelle, you still watch Cars. I mean, how can you not? I cry every time the James Taylor song there. And you had a lovely staycation, lots of reading, long walks. Great. Love it. Okay, so one of my favorite reads that I have to share from the holidays was this, Jim. Can you see it? The Appeal by Janet Hallett. I hope you pronounce her name Hallett. Could be Hallett. Could be very fancy. She's British, so I don't know. I read she came out with a Christmas short. And I read that first because you know me, I love a good short. And I actually, you're not going to believe this, but I broke my own rule and I read a series out of order. I started with her Christmas short and I loved it so much. I know, it's true. I did it. I loved it so much that I had to go back and start with book 1. And this is book 1 in the series. And if you haven't read it, go find yourself a copy. It's so fun. It's set in the English countryside. It's this group of fairway players. They're this small English amateur acting troupe, and all of the drama takes place on stage. But what I love about it is the book is all told through text messages and email and letters. It's so clever. It's so well done for a mystery. Like, my writer brain is fascinated by how she pulled that all together, because it's not, a traditional plot in many ways, but it is like, it's gonna keep you turning the page. So if you haven't read it, go get yourselves a copy of that. Oh no, out of order. What? Kat, did you love the appeal? It was so great, wasn't it? I know, Beth, I know. Usually I do it, but this one it worked. There was no spoiler. So going back to book one, actually, that's not true. I sort of had a peripheral memory, and I read them pretty close together, of maybe like some little thread of the killer. But you also don't know until more than halfway through the book who has died. We know at the beginning that there's been a murder. And so there's like a whole text exchange about that. But we don't know for a long time. I did dog ear them, Lily. Of course I did. I know. I do. I have a bookmark too. I've been trying to bookmark, but I still like to dog ear because I want to go back to certain pages that I loved. Sorry. I know, it's terrible. How many books are in the series now? I'm not sure, Kara, to tell you the truth. I want to say that maybe the Christmas book was 4 or 5, but don't quote me on that. But it was fantastic. And then Tekka, you got to pop in and share what you have been devouring again over break.
The Murderbot series.
Back. Murderbot's back.
Murderbot's back. I'm going to change there we go. Because I got COVID on my birthday, so I had a lot of reading time there for a while. But 2, because I realized that somehow I missed a book in the series.
That feels like a dun 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 for yourself.
Oh, okay. I'll dun 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 myself. I have no idea how I did this, but it's been amazing, and it's a really good book. Network Effect. I think it's the 5th book in the series. Somehow I had it, I owned it, and I just started reading it, and I was like, this does not seem familiar at all, like not at all. And sure enough, I have not read this before.
Isn't that so funny? So which one are you on now? Are you up to 5?
Yeah, I'm almost done with 5. And then you got me, or Santa, I can't remember if it was from you or Santa, but somebody got me the latest book for Christmas, so I can't wait to get to that.
Somebody got you a signed copy from Murder by the
Book. It was
too.
Signed. Yeah.
Signed.
It didn't come with a personal call with Martha, though, so I was a little disappointed, but yeah, it was signed.
And Anna Louise, I don't know if Anna's on tonight, but she informed me, and then I passed this on to you, that they're making a streaming version of Murderbot.
Yes, I can't wait. I cannot wait. That's going to be
so good.
It's going to be really great. I hope. I hope. I really hope.
Kylie says you have to read in order too. That's why we're so far behind in the Bake Shop Mysteries. I know. I'm sorry. I'm working on book 20 right now too, which is that's cruel and unusual punishment. Like, how do you ever catch up at that point?
That's a good series to start. Yeah.
Oh, I love that, Michelle. Going back, I used to read
the
it
author
out loud.
not so much, but the book series, yes. So,
yeah, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
But I used to read it out loud to Sky Guy, and I butchered all of the names. Like I think I've said this before, but I have no idea what I called Hermione, but it was nowhere near what Hermione sounds like for sure. Like Hermine or however it's spelled. So that's pretty funny. What else? Yes, Murderbot's going to be made into a movie. I don't know if it's a movie or I feel like it's streaming. I think it's streaming. And it's going to be on Apple. And I feel like everything Apple does has been so good lately.
It'll probably be a series because
each
book could be multiple episodes, I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Valerie, you're starting James Patterson's Holmes, Marple, and Poe. I've seen
that sounds good.
I've seen that around. I want to hear. You're going to have to report back and tell us how it is. The other thing that keeps coming up is Danny Trejo's memoir That just came up
yeah.
at Wild Sisters this weekend again. Apparently, his memoir is supposed to be phenomenal.
Yeah, because I got his second cookbook when we were at Poison Pen, when we were down there, and they were talking up the booksellers there were talking up his autobiography. So
Exactly.
got to check it out.
Amy, you started reading Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Lord. I'm so anxious to know if Petra gets back together with Duncan. Oh, I have that book sitting right next to me. I don't know. Maybe we can put in a special note to Celeste and be like, hey, give us the goods. Tell us. I want to read that James Patterson book. Yeah, totally. I know. It's supposed to be great. I mean, what a cool concept, too, to mash them all up together. Love it. Let's see. So, yes, that was pretty much our whole, I would say, December. Just a lot of, like, hanging out, reading, staying cozy.
And the road trip.
What's that?
I said, and the road trip, which was...
And the road trip, exactly.
How many miles was that? Like 1,200, 1,400? Something like that. Yeah.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot. It was worth it. We broke it up.
Yeah.
Exactly. Courtney, you have an early copy of Resort to Murder by our very own Annie, aka also known as I know. So many exciting things from our group here. Paula just had her debut last week, and she has another series releasing in a few months. Annie's, I believe, is going to come out at the end of March. It's so exciting. I just it makes me so happy. Barbara Streisand's very long audiobook, 48 hours. Oh my gosh. Okay. And Lisa, I'm reading the Sloan Krause series currently on Beer and Loathing. Yay. We were just talking about the fact I don't think a day goes by when I don't get an email from a reader asking if I would please put the Sloan shorts into a print book. I just got 3 of those today. Which is so sweet. Like, I love it so much. But I did. So if you didn't know that, it's on my website. We released a final draft, which is a collection of 3 shorts. So yes, I love that keeps coming up. And I love that people still want to read print. I do too. Tech Guy tends to read more on his e-reader, and I tend to read more physical copies. In part, I already often forget author names, which is terrible unless it's an author that I've read a ton of. But I like to be able to see a cover. It's important to me to be able to remember. My brain remembers differently, I feel like. Let's see. Sorry, I got to go back to 48 hours. Did you hike while you were doing that? Did you walk? Did you do dishes? That's a commitment. That's 2 full days of a book. I'm impressed. Heidi, it's almost like I paid you to set up this beautiful segue. How nice of you. How kind. Okay, so for those of you who might not know, my very first series that I wrote is set in the Pacific Northwest, and it features this very young, bumbling journalist who wants to be an investigative reporter and work for the O, aka the Oregonian, which is the big paper in the state. But this series was written in 2010. And so newspapers are just starting to die. Sadly now, spoiler alert, if we fast forward to 2024, now she's really not going to find a job working for a traditional paper. But that's a whole other plot point. Anyway, she wants to be an investigative reporter and, get this job at the O, but she can't. So she's couch surfing and, just barely getting by. She's recently graduated from college. At the time, it's so funny because I think she was ahead of her time. The protagonist in this is Meg Reed. She was definitely ahead of her time as far as mysteries go and the market sort of, because there weren't a lot of younger sleuths like that. They called it young adult, or no, not young adult. Sorry. They called it new adult, but that was just the start of new adult. And now new adult is just adult, right? Oh, Tracy. Hi. Oh, go pink. Exactly. Yeah. So Meg loves pink. She's young, but she's intrepid and she's going to figure it out. So she lands a job writing for this fictional outdoor magazine, Northwest Extreme. because she claims, she lies. She claims that she is, this adventure girl, and a seasoned outdoors woman. And she is not at all. She has not an athletic bone in her body. She loves all things pink. She drinks copious amounts of like mochas, and she loves vintage 1950s thrifting. It's a whole vibe. Anyway, so that was the very first series that I had published. And it went for 5 books. Oh, Amy, I love that some of you know. So many people are like, what? I've never heard of this series, but don't go look it up yet. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why in a second. Anyway, I loved that series. It was what launched me into writing. The whole series came about because we were up hiking at Angel's Rest in the Pacific Northwest, out in the gorge one weekend, and we pulled into the trailhead, and this car next to us unloaded these just giant, like burly Oregon hiker dudes with like big beards and flannel and black backpacks and hiking boots and everything. And then out of the back of the car came this very tiny, petite young woman in her early 20s. And she was, I kid you not, dressed from head to toe in pink. This is a true story. Like, you can't make this up. It's always the real stuff that is what's inspiring to me. So I was just mystified because it's literally like 5 or 6, just these giant guys. And then this young woman, pink hiking boots, pink backpack, pink like everything is pink. And so I like to think that I sort of just like tried to keep an eye on her up the trail. The tech guy would say that I was like probably stalking her, but that became sort of the impetus for the book and the start of the idea, and my very first mystery that I wrote. When they came out, and this is like something I think that a lot of people don't know about authors, like I didn't have any say over the cover design, over sort of the idea for the series, titles, like things like that. Scene of the Climb was my title. That's the first book in the series. Anyway, so they went 5 books, and they did okay. They like started my career, and I'm so proud of them. But for the last few years, I have been trying to get my rights back because they've just sort of sat and nothing's happened with them. And a number of the books in the series are out of print, so you can't even find them. And it finally happened. And so I'm totally Taylor Swifting this. This is going to be the Meg Read series. Ellie's version. Ellie's version. So I have, I don't know if you can see it, but next to my desk, I have a stack of all 5 manuscripts. I sent them off to the copy editor earlier this last summer and fall. My copy editor, who's amazing, went through them with a fresh look. I have spent a lot of time over the past few months in between like current writing projects. I know, I'm so excited. I can't wait. Going back through them, because it is like time traveling. It's so amazing to see how much culture has shifted since, it shouldn't be, I guess, because it's been like 14 years. But so I'm giving them a refresh. Nothing major, but just like a little, oh, you have them all. Yes, Amy. Yes. I'm giving them a refresh, so Meg will get a little more, up to date. And we are designing brand new covers. I always, when the series first launched, what happens is this is if you go the traditional publishing route. If you're going independently, you get to decide all of these things, right? But at the time, these were traditionally published. So I sent ideas in for what I envisioned the covers to be. And I pictured, of course, some pink, because she's pink. I just happened to be pink tonight. Tech guy, did you plan this? I pictured
Totally.
totally good job. I pictured just like a touch of pink, and then vintage travel postcards or vintage posters from like the national parks, because it's a very outdoorsy series. But the covers that came were nothing like that. In fact, true story, I bawled my eyes out when I saw the cover the first time. I emailed my agent. I was just like, "Oh no, this is not the vibe at all of the series. Like, it couldn't be any more different." And my agent was like, "It's okay. Like, just stick with it. They know what they're doing. Which, I'm so grateful for that experience. I'm not taking anything away from that. But I am also grateful that I was able to get the rights back and that I get to send Meg back out in the world again in a very fresh way. So coming later this spring, all 5 books, all 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, boom, are going to re-release all together. And I'm working on an idea for bringing Meg back. She ends where she's at in the series in her early 20s. And so she's going to come back about 7 to 10 years later after she's gone off and had a little life experience, shall we say. So yes, I'm very excited. And it's so fun to get to give them a little bit of a refresh. And then also, like, we've just been cracking up over the technology. Like, even in 2010, like when she's watching a movie, she's going to pick through her DVDs. Like, there's nothing about streaming. People are using Blackberries still. Like, it's been hilarious and a time trip. And then some of like the slang lingo, like totes ridic and all this stuff where I'm like, okay, it's a time warp. Part of me wants to sort of preserve it. But then the other part of me wants to give her like a little bit of a refresh. So I'm very excited. Yeah, go.
I was just going to say, because you can't see the comments on Instagram because we're multi-streaming, we've got to figure all that out. But Esme is on. She says hi.
Hi, Esme.
And wanted to know the name of the series because she joined after you were started talking about it. So.
Oh, okay. It is the Pacific Northwest Mysteries, but don't go get them. Please don't go get them. Like, wait until they re-release and they're Ellie's version, because then I own it. I own all the rights. That's the thing that I love. Amy, if you read the old ones and compare them to the new ones, will they be different? They will be different. I mean, not dramatically so. I'm not doing a full rewrite. I'm calling it a refresh. Just because I think that Lily, you loved your BlackBerry, right? So did the tech guy. He had a pager back in the day. That really dates us. Anyway,
the pager had a keyboard though.
Your pager did have a keyboard. That was
important. It was very tech.
It was so tech. People were like, "What is that?" So funny. Anyway, I get to own the rights for these two, which is huge as an author. That's what I was going to say. And one of the things, I know I talk about it too much, but I do appreciate that part of the Taylor Swift brand savviness that I think a lot of people don't understand, that as creative types, whether that's in the movie industry, the music industry, the book industry, if you're writing for sort of the big houses, you as the author are making a tiny little percentage and often don't have a lot of voice in sort of the direction. Not all the time, but some of the time. So yes, it will be in paperback and Kindle. Yes, absolutely. Carrie Lynn, you have the original set for your Ellie Alexander Book Museum. You're too sweet. That's awesome. I know, it takes us back, huh? Back in the day. Back in the Little Meg days. Yes. I read the first one in the series, but I had trouble finding the other books. Exactly, because they went out of print. So that's been part of it too. It would be different, I think, if the series was like, still in print and being promoted, but it hasn't for years. Like, they just kind of died a slow little painful death as they do, which is something. Oh, Mary, we will at some point have a pre-order. It's not ready yet because we're still in the middle of going back and forth on all the cover design, and I'm doing my copy edit of the copy editor's feedback. That's one thing that I always talk to authors about too, especially people who maybe are new and starting out in your career. Like, sometimes it's not your first book. Maybe it's not your second or third book that hits. Like, it takes a long time. It's a long game, and you have to do a lot of work and build that out. And so it's okay too. Like, I had a friend who just had a series canceled, and she's distraught, understandably so, because it's a fantastic series. And I was talking to her about the idea of like, well, you could keep it going and publish it yourself now. And I think that sometimes there's that idea of like, if something doesn't hit instantaneously, that there's not value in it, but that's just not true at all. Yes. Okay. Let's see. Is that the series we were talking about coming out, or is there another one also? Wow. You all are just like setting me
It's
up
funny
tonight.
you should ask.
It's funny you should ask. Yes. Um, we're bookish people. Of course, we're going to want both copies. That's hilarious. um, you have to, Karen. You know, what are you going to do? Hi, also. So good to see you. Yes. So, in addition to the Meg re-release, I have also been working away for the past, almost, I guess, 2 years now, year and a half, 2 years, on a brand new series that is going to launch in June. This is with a publishing house in the UK, which I'm very excited about. The series, the first book is called The Body in the Bookshop. No, we changed it to bookstore. Sorry, we just did that last week. The first book is going to be called The Body in the Bookstore, and the second book is The Body in the Box Office. They are going to release in tandem. This is so cool. I'm so excited to be working with this publishing house because they're sort of, I would say, like they're in the middle of kind of that hybrid world. So they release print, audio, and ebook all at once, the first two. So the first two will come out together, kind of like when a new series drops, and you get the first 2 episodes or whatever. Yes, it's true. It's true. I should have cover art to share in the next few weeks too. I can't wait. Okay, so the idea behind no puns in the titles. I know, right? Joseph, what's wrong with me? It's no puns. I'm very excited for this series. It is going to be set in a mystery bookshop in my fictional town of Redwood Grove in Northern California. So the bookshop is in an old English estate, and it is inspired by this beautiful estate. Well, actually, it's kind of a mashup of two things, of Filoli, which is this beautiful garden, an estate here, and also this hotel in Los Altos that looks like it belongs in the English countryside. The bookstore is an Agatha Christie themed bookstore. So every room in the bookstore has a theme. So there's like the dig room, which is for kids. There's St. Mary Mead's parlor, and it's themed just like Miss Marple's parlor. There is, what else? The sitting room where there's tea. There's a conservatory. There's a terrace outside. The idea of this series is that my protagonist, Annie Murray, was studying to become, well, she was a criminology student, and she thought she was either going to go work for the police force as a detective or in some sort of crime scene investigation, and or start her own private detective agency. This book, it's cozy. It's still 100% cozy, but it's got a little bit of a darker undertone. One of the things that I love as a writer is getting to do two plots, a mystery within a mystery. And so that is 100% the theme of this book, which is also the theme of the Meg series that I'm going to re-release. That's how I started writing. In that series, Meg, at the beginning, and this is not a spoiler if you read it later, she learns that her father has been killed in a biking accident. And so then there's this whole theme and thread through the 5 books about what has happened to him. So in this series, Annie is about to graduate from college. Her best friend, Scarlett, and her have been assigned a cold case to investigate. And Scarlett goes off to follow a lead and then ends up murdered the day before they're set to graduate. And then 10 years later, fast forward, I know, right, Courtney? It's so fun. Mystery within mystery. I think there's something about it too I like the puzzle piece of that because it's another layer and challenge for me from the writing perspective. So fast forward 10 years, we now meet Annie, and she has been working at the Secret Bookcase. That's the name of the bookshop. She's been working at the Secret Bookcase, and it's really struggling. It's an independent bookstore in this cozy, sweet little town, and they're having a really hard time getting readers in. They're having a hard time keeping the lights on. And Hal Christie, who owns the bookstore, is in his 60s, and he adores Annie. He's like a grandfather to her. But he's slowing down, and he's not sure that they're going to be able to stay afloat. And she has this idea that maybe to revive the bookstore, she could put on a mystery fest. she gets the whole town involved in the mystery fest. Any ideas where this might have come from? She gets the whole town involved in the mystery fest, and that's the whole theme of book one is readers are coming in, they are going to panels, there's a murder mystery dinner, all of the things that may or may not have happened in real life in Ashland this last fall. I had been going back and forth with my editor for this series, and we had been brainstorming a few different ideas because I wasn't sure exactly what I was ready to write yet. And at the same time, this was 2 years ago, we were just starting to have discussions about the idea of hosting a real life mystery fest. And I just had this aha moment of like, oh my gosh, I can combine both of these and make this happen. So I'm super, super excited. And, you all might pick up on some insider like, oh, I know where she took that concept. It's really fun. This is the
I
one
have some questions.
Yeah, you might be in. Okay, yeah, go for it. Hi, Tiffany. Is it coming out under? Everything will come out under Ellie. Yes, it's coming out as under Ellie Alexander. They'll both come out in June. I don't have an official pub date yet. But it should be, they'll both come out in June, and then the book 3 will come out in October. So they're going to be like, boom, boom, boom. Yes. And they will be available in America and the UK. Absolutely. For sure. In fact, it's been funny because I've been going over page passes for them. And there've been a couple little things that the copy editor changed that I had to change back. What's an example? Oh, I know. Instead of apartment, they put flat. And I was like, oh, actually, no, I think the bulk of my readership is probably in America. So they'll be like, wait, what's a flat? Anyway, yes, they will be here as well.
This one is going back to the Meg series, but I wanted to answer it if that's okay.
Sure, love to.
Because Diane, I hear you. This is my, Ellie can tell you, it drives me so crazy that a couple of the bake shop books are different sizes. So yes, absolutely everything that Sweet Lemon Press publishes will be the same size within the series. So nothing to worry about there. Like anything. And if for whatever reason a size became unavailable, I will personally go and republish all of the previous books to match the new size because I can't stand it. So there you go.
Fair enough. No, I'm with you. Yeah, it's painful. And I didn't know that sizes were changing. I wasn't told. They changed mass market for like 2 or 3 books. The Cure for What Ails You, Bake, Borrow, and Steal, something else. Donut Disturb, maybe? And then they went back to the original mass market size. I'm curious, though, what you all are thinking in terms of mass market. Like, I feel like that market, I'm saying mass market a lot, is dwindling. It's interesting. Like, if you go into bookstores, mass market shelving is going like this. So I don't know if that portends to a trend, but we'll see. These will not be in mass market. They'll be more like, your traditional trade paperback. Beth, you can't stand the tiny print. Exactly. Yeah. I just saw a comment. Adrian, hi. Can we do a petition to reprint? Yeah, exactly. I know. I wish they won't, but that'd be cool. I thought you were going to say you cut the bigger books with a paper cutter, right? Just be like, yeah.
I could totally do that too, but yeah.
Laura, this is the comment I was going to go back to. Now I must ask, which was your favorite mystery festival? Do you mean in terms of comparing the book or real life, or in general? I want to know. My favorite mystery festival was the one in real life in Ashland because it was just brilliant to get to like kiss people in real life and be all together. But it's been super fun to sort of take elements of that and put it in this book. When did I say the releases? June for the new series. It doesn't have a title. I think they're going to be called The Secret Bookcase Mysteries, but don't quote me on that. We've been going back and forth. I've got the Leaning Tower of Pisa thanks to sizes, right, Valerie? I know. Or then like it just looks weird on the shelf where you're like, oh, check. Check. Yeah, anyway. I love the rainbow colors for the bake shop on my shelf, except when they change sizes. Yes, I know. I'm not a fan either. But that will not happen with Meg. All 5 Megs will come out in a beautiful bundle with covers that are aesthetically pleasing. Some of my patrons have been giving me feedback and ideas, and I think ideas are starting to take shape. That's going to be the last piece, is all of the cover design, because Tech Guy and I are doing this through Sweet Lemon Press. And then book 6, Meg's Return, will also be the same size, so not to worry. Make all of them bigger. Yeah, that would be the thing. I think with the publishing houses, they just sort of follow whatever the market trend is. That's why I'm curious to see what's going to happen with mass market. I know I have a really good friend who writes romance, and she has a lot of shelf space at Walmart and Target. And a few of the romance imprints are pulling those lines from Target and Walmart. And that's like a huge hit, especially in places where there aren't independent bookstores. So I shouldn't say that. I'm saying that wrong. Walmart and Target are pulling them. The publishers aren't, but Walmart and Target are not going to carry them. The other interesting trend is hardcover. A lot of the bigger retails like Barnes & Noble, they are concerned about taking a risk on hardcover with an unknown author. So I feel like there are just like all these doors right now that are closing in terms of, I don't know that you want to know this, but anyway, that's the back end on publishing right now. Teresa, it is so exciting to finally get to create my own vision. Yes. Amy, I need to do a short or a book with Meg, Jules, and Sloan. That would be so fun. Like have them all cross over. They could, because Meg would be like out for some sort of hiking adventure in Leavenworth or Ashland, and Jules or Sloan could be down for like a brew fest or something. It could happen. It could definitely happen. We'll need a calendar of all of your releases this year. Yeah, definitely. I'll have more info as soon as I have covers for both of these. I'll have more to share. And then lastly, of course, Smoking Bun, book 18 of the Bake Shop Mysteries comes out. There it is. On February 20th. So save the date, because we will have a live stream party that night for sure. And book 19, Sticks and Scones. Thank you, Adrian, for that cover. Comes out when does it come out? August. It'll come out in August. Also, I just got word that from my publishing house that Barnes & Noble is having another pre-order sale, which I think it starts tomorrow. I will post about it on social, but if you are a Barnes & Noble shopper, I think it's going to be like 25% off pre-orders again, not just my books, any books. So if you're in the market for some new reads, get on that tomorrow. April, I agree on the concern for hardcover for an unknown author, especially with the high cost, right? I know it's a really hard ask. It's a hard ask for me. I didn't love that part of hardcover to be like, but on the other end, the interesting thing is authors tend to make a higher royalty rate on hardcover. So even if you don't sell as many, you can potentially make a little more money. The other interesting thing this is all just talking traditional publishing, so ignore anything that you might be thinking in terms of indie, but sometimes hardcovers will get reviewed better. They won't get better reviewed, but they'll be more easily reviewed. So a lot of like the big review magazines and sites, they won't touch mass market. They just refuse to review them. But they will for hardcover, even though it's basically the same content if you're talking about like genre specific stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I think the market's changing. One thing that I really like about the new mystery, or what am I calling it? The secret bookcase. Let's just call it that for the moment. Mystery series is they release with dynamic pricing. So right out of the gate, the ebook is really reasonably priced, and audio comes out at the same time, which I think is huge because a lot of readers, myself included, are also shifting to audio. So yeah. Jill, you're a Barnes & Noble shopper. Okay, tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow. Is tomorrow the 24th? Yeah, I think it's tomorrow. I'll post about it, but it's pre-orders off of everything. Will you still be in place? Oh, I missed it. Sorry. Will you still be in places like Barnes & Noble? Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All of my stuff is up everywhere for sure. What else? Speaking of Leavenworth, did I see the story? Yes, that was so cool, Joseph. Yes, they did a whole feature on Leavenworth. It was amazing. I need to share that. It was so perfect. Love it. That town is just magical. All right. Phew. I think that is I think that's the report. I do also have a few other standalones that I have been working on going on 4 or 5 years now. I guess 4. Yeah, pandemic. So 4 years that have been taking up space. So we'll see how much time I have. There's a possibility that some of them get released, 1 or 2 of them get released later this fall, or they might get pushed back to 2025. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, Amy Lost Coast it's in that stack. I have 3 manuscripts that are completed, 2 of which have had 2 rounds of edits. So now it's time and capacity. So anyway, there are some other standalones in the works as well, but I don't have any sort of firm date or time as to when those would happen. Let's see what else. Okay, any bake shop box sets, Kylie? That would be so cool. They've never done one. I would love that if they did it. Only if they did it and they cut off those 2 books to make them fit. Actually, at one point in time, can you see the tort box behind me up there? The tech guy made those boxes, and so I don't even think they would fit the series anymore. We'll have to check it out, but we boxed them ourselves and put them in tort boxes and wrapped them, and it was super fun to send those out. So maybe I'll have to find a way to do that myself.
The series definitely wouldn't fit that box anymore.
I don't think
that
so,
was
right?
like four books ago. Yeah.
Maybe
more.
Yeah. Crazy. Joseph, you're listening to Big Little Lies. Ooh, we just started watching it. What did you think of Apples Never Fall? I loved it. It was so good. So good. I can see that. I could imagine Big Little Lies would be good on audio. It feels even darker to me, and maybe it's just the interpretation because I didn't read Big Little Lies. I read Apples Never Fall. But the streaming show seems slightly darker, but it's really good. What else? I know, Michelle, aren't those boxes so fun? Save the date for February 20th for sure. And I will keep you posted in the interim about some other pop-ups. I'm going to be in Vancouver on February 4th with Paula at Vintage Books at 1:00 in the afternoon. So if anybody's in the Pacific Northwest, come say hi to both of us. That'll be super fun. And I'm going to be doing a Sunday morning coffee and buns for a Smoking Buns here in the Bay Area at Lee's Books on Sunday, November 25th. So if you're in the Bay Area, come down to cute little Sunnyvale and you can see me here and get some smoking buns to start your weekend. Let's see. On that note, I think that covers it. It's always a delight to be back together. I've missed you all so much. I hope your new year is off to a great start, that you've got a good stack of reads, that you're staying warm wherever you are. And I will talk to you soon. Happy reading.